So today we're going to talk about how limitations are not always limitations. Sometimes the biggest limitation can be the biggest outcome. Just because there are limitations in our work doesn't mean that we have to give up on it. Sometimes it means that we have to find a new way.
14 years ago, I was in art school, and this is the straightest line I could draw. This was doomsday. This is the destruction of my dream of becoming an artist. Today, this is the straightest line I can draw. So nothing's changed, right? Except that everything has changed. The shake developed out of a single-minded pursuit of pointillism, just years of making tiny dots. I'd hold the pen tighter, and the dots used to look like dots, and then they eventually looked like tadpoles. And so I would continue to hold the pen tighter, and my hand would still shake. Still shake, and I'd hold the pen tighter still, and this eventually caused so much pain and joint issues I had trouble holding anything. I left.
Have you ever had a time in your life where you have always done something a certain way and then all of a sudden it changes and you have to adapt with it? This is the type of thing that this man's talking about here. So he had always been able to do this one type of art, right? This pointillism. And then all of a sudden he wasn't able to do it. Do you just give up? Or do you pursue it a different way?
I left art school, and then I left art completely. A few years later, I just couldn't stay away from art. I got back into it, and I went to a neurologist this time to have the shake checked. out, and I was quickly diagnosed with permanent nerve damage. And he took one look at my squiggly line and said, well, why don't you just embrace the shake? So I did. I went home and grabbed a pencil and just started letting my hands shake, and I started making all these scribble pictures. And it felt great, even if it wasn't the art I was passionate about. But once I embraced the shake, I realized I could still make art. I just had to find a different approach to making the art that I wanted. So I began experimenting with different methods where the shake wouldn't affect the work. And I discovered if I worked on a larger scale with different materials, my hand wouldn't really hurt. I went from having a single approach to art to an approach to creativity that has just completely changed my artistic horizons. This was the first time that I realized embracing a limitation can actually drive creativity. And I wondered, could you become more creative then by looking for limitations?
So what are the limitations in your life? How have those limitations helped you or hindered you? What exactly are the limitations that have helped you to grow as a person? Just because you have a limitation doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. How have your limitations improved you?